Have you ever thought that, money can be one of those topics that many families don't really talk about because sometimes it feels awkward and or private or in some circumstances even controversial. In some communities like mine with Indonesian Chinese communities, talking about money can sometimes feel wrong, like we are being greedy or showing off or not being humble or grateful. But then if you think about it, many children then grow up learning about money almost by accident because they weren't taught that money skills or knowledge from when they were younger. So they learn from stress, arguments, from having debts, seeing it on social media, from making mistakes, from maybe watching adults around them panic at the price of fuel or groceries as price increases. And that's why I've been thinking about this quite a while. Our children inherit our money beliefs long before they inherit our actual cash or actual money. Many of us grow up, I think, hearing things like, we can't afford that. Money is hard to come by, Just get a good job, be safe, don't take too much risks, don't dream too big. And I don't say this to blame our parents or bring guilt or anything. Many of our parents are doing their best. We're doing their best with what they know. Maybe they often come from a situation of lack, migrating to a new country, pressure of life, or having seasons where survival was really the priority. But sometimes this survival thinking gets passed down in generations as wisdom. I want to be honest, our family is not the wealthiest family. We're still learning these principles ourselves. The principles of stewardship, having business, saving, investing, giving, and creating value out of our lives and our skills, the work of our hands, making better decisions. And sometimes I think I wish I learned a lot of this knowledge that I'm gaining now much earlier. But then again, I think, well, now is the opportunity. Maybe my boys don't have to wait until they're nearly 50 like me to learn what we are learning now. So I've taken my boys on this journey of learning together. And one thing I want to teach them is this, don't chase money. Grow yourself, grow your thinking, your wisdom, your skills, your abilities. Learn how to solve problems, learn how to create value of your knowledge, of your skills, the work of your hands, what you can do and what you know. Because when you become someone who can create value for others and steward the resources you have well, money is definitely gonna follow. Money will be much, much more likely to follow. Of course, not magically, okay? Not like money will just knock on the door and say, hi, hello, I heard you read this one personal growth book, so here I am. Nothing like that. But when we grow, our capacity grows, our choices becomes more, the opportunities that we will be exposed to, there'll be more and more, it will grow, and our ability to help others will also grow. So recently I led a group of teenagers, including my own son, through Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow board game, if you know about it. And what I loved most was watching them think, ask questions, and talk about income, assets, choices, and getting out of the rat race. And I thought, this is what I wish most of us had growing up. Not just the fear of money, but wisdom, not the rules, but having conversations around money. Not just being told to work hard, but being taught to learn how money works. So I think the goal for me is not to raise children who chase after money, but to raise children who create value, steward resources, and live generously to bless others. So I want to ask myself, and I invite you to do the same. What money belief did you inherit that you might need to rethink before passing it on to the next generations? Because we may not be able to change what we were taught, but we can change what we teach next to the next generations.